Hi, good day. This is Austin Thompson with Thompson Management Consulting, and we are back again with another on-location spotlight interview. And this morning, I am so pleased to have for this interview Miss Sandra L of the Gene Consulting Group.
Yes.
And she is going to tell us all about her new consulting firm. She has an extensive law background, and she has, like most of us, has taken the leap into entrepreneurship, and we're so excited to hear her story today. All right? So we are going to start.
All right, let's get started.
Miss Sandra G, I am so excited to have you
Thank
this
you.
morning. Thank you so much.
Good morning. Thank you for having me. And I'm excited about this. I'm excited that you're giving me the opportunity to spotlight who I am, as well as what I've done for the community.
Exactly.
And what I'm about to embark on, or actually I just embarked on.
Just embarked on, right? And we like to have these casual conversations with entrepreneurs because entrepreneurship and small businesses drive the economy, right? Mm-hmm. And we would not have a vibrant economy, a vibrant U.S. economy without our small businesses and without the risk-taking of our entrepreneurs.
That's true. That's true.
And so just tell us a little bit about, who you are, where you grew up, so that we can get the best idea of who Sandra Jean is.
All right. Well, let's start from the beginning. I was born in New York, but I was raised in Cap in Haiti. I returned to New York when I was 15 years old and finished my studies and attended all the way to law school at St. John's University, but I transferred into Suffolk University and finished my legal studies there in Boston, Massachusetts.
Oh, great.
So my undergrad was accounting. I was an accountant.
Oh, okay.
I worked for Ernst & Young. I worked for several others and thought I was going to be a CPA, but then changed my mind and went to law school, and the rest is history from there.
I thought I was going to be an actor. Right. I had to audition for my high school. And I spent 3 years in theater and music, and I thought I was going to be this aspiring, singer and actor, and it didn't happen that way.
Well, in a way, you're still inspiring.
Yeah,
so
well,
that's good.
Oh, yeah.
But it's funny how our lives take trajectories that we didn't anticipate. I know some of my peers, they talk about always wanting to be an attorney.
Right.
That was not the case with me at all. I just finished my studies as an accountant. I was working as an accountant and decided, let me just go to law school.
Exactly.
And I applied, got in, so I decided to go. Interestingly enough, I went into labor law after I did my clerkship. So I've been a labor and employment attorney for 25 years.
Oh, wow.
And I was with the National Labor Relations Board.
Mm-hmm.
I practiced there for about 6 years. Mm-hmm. And then I went in-house. Mm-hmm. My first foray into in-house was as a labor, specifically just addressing labor relations.
Right, okay.
Dealing with unions, dealing with employee relations, and just creating systems and processes to help companies understand how to manage their workforce. And that was back in 2005.
Right.
Now there are a lot of programs, a lot of companies that focus solely on employee relations. But back then, it wasn't as popular.
Yeah, because I think employees are looking for more than just a place to work.
That's correct.
It's like a marriage, you're going into a partnership. Mm-hmm. You as the employee, they as the employer, and you want to have that synergy and build those dynamics with your employer.
That's
right. So employee relations and labor relations and these things are important, right?
They are. When you think about it, you spend most of your waking hours at work. And so you want that to be a pleasant experience.
Yes.
You don't want to go to work and have to deal with things or work for somebody that you feel does not support you does not even know who you are. So
that's right.
Employee relations have taken a big leap from 2005 to today, where the focus is on the workforce. In fact, today one would argue that the employee is driving the bus.
Yes.
Because with the great resignation, the great reshuffle, employees really are at a premium right now. And good employees are definitely at
yes,
a premium. So.
Yes, ma'am, and that's something that a lot of corporations are. I mean, small organizations, large organizations, national organizations, global organizations. They're all recognizing that they have to do more for the employee.
Yes,
you know?
they do. And a lot of them are taking steps to do so.
Right.
And that's why they need that as a strategy, not just as something HR does.
Right.
I've ascended from, manager to director to VP, senior VP to the C-suite in HR. And I've been able to experience at the different levels how we approach it. But I will say this, at the C-suite level, there needs to be conversation about the employee, or what I call the people pillar of the company.
Right.
Because that's your biggest asset.
Exactly.
And that can drive the biggest lawsuits.
That's right. That's right.
And so that takes me into why I launched my company.
Yeah, because we really want to know what drove you to launch the Gene Consulting Group. I mean, you have this 25-year extensive background in labor relations, labor law, human resources, and how do you transition what you have done at the corporate level and now doing that for small businesses?
Great question. And there's a story there. When I left the labor board as a prosecutor and I went in-house, I did so because I wanted to help companies.
Right.
At that time, I saw so many companies that were being sued by the labor board.
Wow.
And unions were infiltrating, employees were unhappy. It was just a set of dynamics that I, from the outside, saw that I could help. So I said, I'm going to roll up my sleeves and I'm going to join and I'm going to go in-house and help put together people's strategies.
Right.
Fast forward 25 years later, with now what I see a slew of companies and programs and structures around employee relations, where I see the need now is in smaller businesses.
Right.
And what I see is smaller businesses are getting sued, getting in trouble because they just don't know.
Right.
A lot of people started their companies because they bring a skill set. Right. So I'm good at what I do. Why not create a company and offer it to the world?
Exactly.
But what happens is because they don't have the legal training or even the business training to know how to set up the company on the front end.
Right.
And as they bring in employees, how do they insulate themselves, even with vendors that they're dealing with, just contract. All of those create the dynamic that most small business or even scaling business owners don't want to deal with or don't know how to deal with it. And what people do, as you know, is when you're uncomfortable with the situation, you push it to the background.
Exactly.
You put it on the back burner and say, I'll deal with that later.
Right.
But what happens is the longer you're out of compliance, the more you run the risk of a bigger and bigger lawsuit.
Exactly.
So my purpose is to support them, help them look at their company and say, how do we structure you to make sure that you keep your hard-earned money and not have to pay it through fines or suits or damages, etc.
Exactly. And this is so important because what we want our listeners to know, and our listeners are primarily, small business owners, those in the entrepreneurship space that are building and growing and scaling small businesses. We want our small business operators to know that even though you're running a small business, even though you're running an SME, you still have to be cognizant about the legal responsibilities as a bigger organization.
Yes.
Right? And you have to, and the more they do the due diligence in the forefront to seek the expertise and the advisement of someone like yourself, the easier it is down the road.
Absolutely.
Right?
Absolutely. Yeah. And one of the idiomatic expressions I share with people is that ignorance of the law is not a defense. So
I
you
just
can't
didn't know.
Exactly. You can't go to court and say, I just didn't know.
Right.
If you didn't know, it's going to be an expensive lesson.
Right.
But you're still going to pay.
Right.
And so what I strive to do, the value that I strive to bring to business owners is to say, think of me as a prophylactic measure to your business. Let's arm yourself with my knowledge and the resources I bring to you to make sure that you don't have to worry about a lawsuit down the road.
Exactly.
We can't be 100% legal proof, but you certainly can take steps and put policies in place and make sure your contracts are reviewed with your vendors, even with your employees, laying out expectations so that you can insulate yourself and mitigate risks down the road.
Exactly. And what type of businesses do you target? Your target market, is it a certain type of industry, or is it just any business who requires your service?
Any business who requires my service. Now, I will say the past, 18 years, I've been in healthcare. So a lot of my clients tend to be healthcare companies, because that's where I came from. I can help them with a number of contracts, policies, handbooks, just expectations around how to set themselves up. The value that I bring is that they would not be able to afford someone like me full time. But having me as a partner allows them to tap into my knowledge and my resources and be able to use those to properly structure their company. Yeah,
because a lot of small businesses have constrained budgets. Correct. So having you on as a full-time legal expert might not be, financially advantageous. However, consulting with you and bringing you on as a consultant, will definitely work in your favor.
That's right.
Right. And how do you convince a small business to buy into the legal HR aspect that you offer? What do you do to get them to accept, the services that you bring to them?
That's a good question, because I wrestled with that. Someone asked me, what is your best client?
Yeah.
And I said, my best client is someone who's going to listen to me and who's going to pay me for my services and do what I tell them. So when I say listen to me, meaning they have to see the value in what I bring. The only thing I can do is educate. Like we're doing this right now. I post on LinkedIn, I post on social media about what I do. My background is quite extensive, but they have to be able to be at the point where they see the value in what I have to offer. And then what I can do is guide them and explore it and flesh out what from what I bring is applicable to their business. So it's less a matter of convincing them, more so informing, guiding, making sure that they know what I bring and see if it's a good fit for their company.
Exactly. And understanding not just your value, but understanding the importance of taking the right steps. Paying less up front.
That's right, because you're
paying less up front than you would pay in the back end.
That's true.
And give me the perfect example of a bad situation a small business can get into that can be prevented if they hire you.
Yes, there are several, but I'll give you one that is simple and a little bit sad for me, because this person did not hire me on the front end. This person was referred to me, in fact, and she came to me on the back end. And she is a smart young lady. She started her company and looked around and sure enough had her friends next to her. And so she tapped into a couple of her friends who decided, we believe in what you're doing, let's get together. She thought they were employees because she's the sole owner. She covered the cost for a lot of the things they did together. And as it so happened to be, she paid them when she could, how she could. Because in her mind, she did a lot of favors for them, allowing one of them to even reside with her. So in her mind, those were equivalent to paying wages. Over time, the company grew and did well for itself. It's not a multi-million-dollar company, but it did well. And one of the friends thought she should be compensated at the partner level. She honestly felt that she was there from the beginning, that she put in many hours. She was supportive of the owner. They did this together. So she is looking to share in the growth and the success of the company.
Right.
And the owner said, no, I'm the owner. You're an employee. And so you don't get paid what I get paid because I paid you. Well, the situation deteriorated, and now we're dealing with a lawsuit for unpaid wages, allegedly.
Right.
And it's going to cost this owner money.
Wow.
And the reason for that is in the beginning, she did not have the proper paperwork to lay out expectations and documenting exactly what she paid, when she paid, these other two friends, so that there were clear expectations around what the relationship was and looked like. And as I was talking to her, it broke my heart because she's young. She really thought she was doing the right thing. In her mind, just doing these favors, allowing the person to stay with her for free, paying for their lodging and their traveling expenses. In her mind, compensated for some of the hours her friend put in. But now she's looking at paying her own attorney fees, right, to defend this suit. She's looking at paying whatever back pay her friend is able to show and demonstrate. And she's also looking at paying the former friends legal fees. Because in wage and hour proceedings, the prevailing party can also ask and is usually entitled to attorney fees. So it might cost her 3 times the amount when you look at her own attorney fees, the back pay that she owes. Sometimes they add liquidated damages and attorney fees for the other person. And to your point, you mentioned earlier, it's so much cheaper to hire someone like me on the front end. Make sure that you have the proper paperwork, that the contracts are clear, that the expectations are laid out. Instead of having to face this down the road. Because it's never in the beginning, because you're a friend. It's 3 years down the road when things change. Dynamics are a little different that you face with these lawsuits that could easily have been prevented.
And the thing is, you know, and we try to encourage, you know, even when in my workshops, when I teach entrepreneurship, I always try to encourage the business owners who are in attendance to make a list of everything you need in order to drive success for your business, especially early on in the life cycle of your business. One thing I always recommend, well, several things, will be a CPA to help you with your taxes, help you with your small business accounting. A licensed attorney, not Uncle Jim or Aunt Susie who watches divorce court and thinks she knows the legal world, but a licensed attorney. You know,
and I'll even add, if I may, not just any attorney, right? Because like I'm a labor and employment and HR business attorney. That's my realm. That's mostly where I spend my time. But there are several attorneys that do what? Wills and estates, or personal injury, or divorce, custody matters, probate matters, right? So you want to make sure that you're retaining an attorney that specializes, or at least has some significant experience in the area that you're looking to impact. I wouldn't retain myself for a divorce case, you know, even though I could possibly do it, because as an attorney, we're all trained to do certain things, but when you're dealing with an expert, it's a different conversation.
Exactly. And we spoke about your background, your 25-year background in HR and labor relations as an attorney. So that in itself inspired you to start, you know, your own business. Is there anyone in this space or in any other space that you may have looked at and said, you know, they are inspiring me, you know, as a woman, as a professional, you know, a child of immigrants, you know, to live the American dream and start my own business, right? Was there anyone who inspired you?
It's been a journey, and I'll tell you, because you know this about me. I am a founding member of the Georgia Haitian-American Chamber of Commerce, which we started June 2011.
Right.
And so this company, the Gene Consulting Group, was founded and registered with the Secretary of State July 2014.
Okay.
Because working with the business owners in the chamber and also other chambers and in your organization inspired me.
Oh, wow.
But I was not in a space where I felt secure enough to make that leap.
Exactly.
So fast forward, in 2021, I joined with a few attorneys and we founded, a founding member of the Haitian-American Lawyers Association of Georgia. And let me tell you, these ladies, it's mostly ladies. There are some men. We have about 5 men.
Right.
But they are inspiring.
Right.
They are kicking butt. They are handling their business.
That's great.
As I spent more time with them, and they're all junior to me for the most part. I'm trying to think, there might be one who's as around my age and has been practicing as long as I. But most of them are less than 10 years.
Oh, wow. Okay.
And I look at what they're accomplishing and I said, Sandra, and my daughter, that was the pivotal moment. My youngest daughter was a senior and graduated high school last summer.
Right.
So she's in her first year. She's just wrapping up her first year of college.
Okay.
And I said, it's time. It's time. I have this gift. I have this interest. I've put in the work. I've learned what I needed to learn. Of course, I continue to grow. And I said, I'm going to do this.
Yeah.
So here I am.
But you're going to do this. You're going to take a leap of faith. You're going to go out and be independent. But what about that salary? Oh my goodness.
Gosh, yes.
What about that salary? I mean, how do you get away from such a lucrative salary to go out and forge your own business?
That's what I meant by I didn't feel secure enough. It wasn't my talent as an attorney. It wasn't my knowledge base. It was mostly the financial security.
Exactly.
I do have a wonderful man in my life right now too, who has inspired me to take that leap. But yes, it's difficult and scary to jump from every other Friday deposit, if you will, or every other week, to just now having to imagine it all. The roller coaster of emotions that I've been navigating. And I have to give a shout out to a good friend of mine, Haley. She's also a consultant that went on her own, and she has been pivotal. She's been there when I pick up the phone, along with a number of other people. But I will say she definitely has been my cornerstone and my pillar. To just be like, you'll be okay. You'll be fine. So there's been a number of people in my corner. That's the good news. I've built relationships over the past years that I can tap into.
That's great, because you always need connection to a resource of friends. And this is the other thing I always encourage small business owners: find like-minded individuals. And build that coalition of friends and supporters and that support system, because we just can't do this by ourselves. We might think that we're supermen and superwomen, but we just can't do this by ourselves.
No matter how talented or how determined
or how tough we think they are.
It's good to have the talent. It's good to have the determination.
That's right.
But you still need that network of like-minded individuals. And I think you do, because the minute you heard about it, you said, Sandra, we're going to do something about it.
Yes, definitely.
So just great people in my corner. I feel blessed, honestly.
And you are blessed.
The chamber's leadership been right there with me. Like I said, my village is strong.
That's great.
So
that's great.
I'm thankful for that.
That's great. So how are you prospecting? How are you out there identifying the right clients for you? How are you prospecting?
It's through networking and just putting my name out there and making sure that people know what I do. And this is my second podcast. I've done a couple of webinars as well. And just people knowing, I forgot to mention one person that I've been working with a young lady called Olivia, who's been my coach.
Okay.
Even when I was an employee, she has been working with me to help me tap into Sandra L. Gene.
Yes.
You know, I've led a life of service. I love to give of myself, of my talent, but it appeared that I never really gave to me.
Right.
You know, because I've been busy looking outward.
Yes.
And Olivia has been instrumental working with me for the past almost 2 years.
Right.
Helping me tap into what does Sandra need? Who is Sandra? How do we make sure we cater to Sandra's wants and needs and address those?
Yes.
And so I wanted to backtrack and mention Olivia because, like I said, my village is strong, but she and a number of other people, man, I just couldn't thank them enough.
Oh yeah.
So going back to getting clients, really it's through networking.
Right.
I would say 90% of my clients right now has come from people that I know.
Exactly.
That sent someone to me.
Exactly.
And then I have a few, like the remaining 10% is really just through people seeing me on social media and connecting with me and educating them about what I do, what I bring.
Right.
And they retain my services.
Exactly, because you just don't grow your business, you don't grow your client base or your customer relations management system by sitting in front of your desk in your office. You got to get out. You got to meet people, get to networking events. There are events all throughout the city, wherever you may live, right? We're here in the Metro Atlanta area. There are all sorts of networking events with individuals who are either share your space or in other spaces. And for the B2B networking, the business-to-business networking, it is key for us who are solo entrepreneurs and solo operators, because we definitely rely on those connections that we make, you know? So, do you offer, let's say for instance, someone calls into you to get some legal advice, do you offer any type of, free consulting?
I actually do. That's one of the things I'm working on. So, like I said, I live a life of service. So anybody can call me, and again, the best way to call me is to go on my website, sandralgene.com, and you will see a link that says let's chat or contact me.
Yes.
And so schedule a time. My calendar is right on there, and I make myself available. And I certainly talk to people. In fact, I have several people that when they call me, because I also support individuals.
Right.
I've had a few individuals retain me to review their employment contracts for them.
Excellent.
It is something I did on the management side. Now I'm offering those services to the public. So if you're about to embark on a salaried position, executive position, and you're asked to sign an NDA, which is a non-disclosure agreement, a non-solicit or non-compete, you want to make sure you pause and call someone like me to review it so that you know what you're committing yourself to, because I've had a few of those call me and I'm like, you signed it, but let's see what we can do to loosen it up a little bit so that they can operate in their next venture. But yes, I certainly offer a free consultation to talk to me about what the issue is and how we could resolve it.
Exactly, because when you're working in partnership or you're hired or contracted, a lot of the work that you create may become ownership of the company contracting you. So it's like when you sign those NDAs, and I've had many that I've signed in my life, working in corporate, you definitely have to be careful. You want legal, a legal person, a legal entity to really review that. And that's what Sandra does, and she will take a look and make sure she's keeping you straight.
That's right. You want to make sure that you don't end up in trouble.
That's right.
That's why I said just call me on the front end, not afterwards.
Not afterwards. So you start this wonderful consulting company. You're now preparing to take off and grow and scale. Where do you see the Gene Consulting Company in 2 to 3 years from now?
2 to 3 years from now, I'm in my 3rd month of operation, so there is a learning curve. But honestly, just growing and reaching even in other states. I am licensed in Massachusetts and Georgia.
Oh, excellent.
So I do have some clients that are contacting me from New York, which is my original place of birth.
Right.
So I'm looking at having tentacles in several markets and bringing on staff and just helping as many people as I can. Again, I believe in just providing this value and my services to people to just educate them and keep them out of trouble. When you know better, you do better.
Yes, that's right. And I love that you are factoring in service. Because as entrepreneurs, you know, you're in business to make money, right? Because anybody, when you go into business, you're in business to make money. Okay. But there's this component of your business that's giving back to the community. It's, you know, giving service, you know. And I every entrepreneur that I've interviewed or spoken with, they have a component of service built in.
You have to. In fact, tomorrow morning, 8 o'clock, I'm volunteering with the Atlanta Volunteer Lawyers Foundation, AVLF. But I'll say this to you because someone taught me this. God cannot give you if your hand is like this.
That's right.
Your hand has to be open.
That's right.
To receive.
Exactly.
So if you're not giving, you're not receiving.
That's
so
right.
I do believe that. I mean, in fact, I practice this in my personal life and in the business now that I'm running.
Right.
As I do my budget, I take out and make sure 10% is gonna be given. Now it doesn't mean I give it all to church.
Right.
I give it to church. I give it to foundations that I support. I give it to when I'm going to eat. I may just leave a $20 tip, you know, for $8 cup of coffee.
Yeah.
But it's in little gestures like this that you give back to your community and to others that I believe that you'll receive and be blessed.
Exactly.
So.
That's great. And in your 3 months, I mean, you're still on the runway preparing to take off, right?
I'm crawling. I'm not even walking yet.
That's good. You have to take your approach cautiously. But in the 3 months or leading up to starting your business, any critical lessons learned so far, right? That you're using that to say, okay, I won't do that again, and I'm using this to better myself as I'm moving forward.
Oh gosh, so many moments, so many life-teaching moments.
Yeah.
But I'll say this, because that's the one I wrestle with the most. I'm a type A. I'm the type of person that I want things to work a certain way, and there's a beginning, there's an end, and I need to be like in control. I hate to say it, but it's true. So I'm learning to pace myself and to be patient. I guess I'm not a very patient person. I'm learning that in the process.
Exactly.
So just understanding this is a journey. This is not a sprint, it's a marathon.
That's right.
It's going to take me time to build this business and grow it and scale it up. And that just because in my mind it's a reality doesn't mean it's there yet.
Exactly.
It's day to day and not anticipating and not being anxious about the next month.
Exactly.
And to work on the things that I need to work on today so that tomorrow can be what I expect it to be.
That's right. And documenting as you go along.
Yes.
And taking account of all the lessons you're learning, because as you grow and as you scale, these become points that you can actually, when you're reaching back, and this leads into my next question, that you can impart that wisdom on someone.
That's
you know?
Right. Yes.
And going into my next question, what is some advice you would give to a young, inspiring woman entering into if HR, legal space, any business space? What advice would you have for that person, that young lady? Because you're an inspiration to young ladies. You're an example. They're looking to you and say, "Wow, I want to be like Sandra G."
Well, thank you for that.
No,
I'm still learning as I go, but I do go back and speak to young women and men, but primarily women, in high school, and I tell them to follow their passion. Now, I would say this: if I had my way, everybody would be an attorney. I do believe that being an attorney gives you springboard, if you will, to go into any industry, because there are lawyers in healthcare, in manufacturing, construction, financial services, you name it.
That's right.
So follow your passion. Give yourself the time to understand what it is that stirs your soul.
That's right.
And stay true to that passion. Stay true to it, learn, but you're gonna work hard. People can tell you, I wake up early. I'm an early riser,
Yes.
and it's not unusual for me to put 14 to 16 hours. Now it's good to exercise. It's good to take time, and I had to learn those. It's not something I was born with because I'm more of a driven force. But over time, I've learned to take care of myself in the process.
Right.
So I would say to young women, follow your passion. Make sure you stay true to that passion. Learn as much as you can.
That's right.
And when you get to the point where you feel secure in what you want to do, go for it. No one else's journey is yours.
Exactly.
I had to see other people go out there and do their things and be very successful.
Exactly.
And still know that my journey was different.
Right.
I wanted to be a mother first.
Right.
I wanted to be present for my children. So it wasn't until I felt that they're okay, that I can just go on and do what I need to do.
Exactly.
I have zero regrets. I've done a lot of things. So again, but stay connected.
Yes.
You know, don't hide. Be out there. No matter what I was doing, I was in the community.
Right.
I was doing what I felt. Again, I live a life of service. I think that's like the 5th time I'm saying this. That's what stirs my soul. I love to give. I love to feel like I'm imparting knowledge, wisdom, and on the same token, I receive.
Yes.
So. That's what I would say.
Yeah, and I want to echo what you said. Follow your passion. Follow your passion, not someone else's passion, not what someone else sees in you, because what someone sees in you might not be stirring inside of you, right? So you have to know where your passion is, what drives you, what desires you have in terms of your talent and where you see yourself, and you have to follow that. You have to follow your own path. Yes, you may have examples that you look to, right, to use as benchmarks or those individuals who inspire you, but follow your own passion. Definitely follow it, right? And before we go, I know you mentioned your website, but tell our listeners again and our viewers how they can reach you, because I know there's somebody out there that's saying, my goodness, I need her services. How can they reach you? Website, phone, social media, how can they get at you?
Well, thank you for that, and again, thank you for having me.
No, seriously.
I look forward to each and every one of you to really reach out to me. My website is my name. I decided to launch under my name. Even though the name of the company is the Jean Consulting Group, if you Google Sandra L, the letter L, Jean, JEAN.com, I will come up. The name of the company will come up. My LinkedIn profile will come up. It's easy to just send me an email at sandraljean@gmail.com. That's probably the best way to reach me, aside from just scheduling an appointment on my calendar by using my website. So again, don't wait until you're in trouble. Call me on the front end. Let's just have a conversation. If I can help you, I will. If I can impart words of wisdom, even without charging, I do that. But you just want to make sure you're doing your due diligence on the front end. And a phone call doesn't cost much, but a lawsuit does.
That's right. And I was going to ask you, what parting words do you have? But that was quite fitting.
Oh, well, that's my parting words. Those are my parting words. I look forward to just connecting with you truly. If you're an individual and you have questions about your employment situation, feel free to call. And if you're a business owner, even if you already started the business, I have my biggest client right now. She started her business last summer. And she scaled up quite quickly, and now we have to backtrack a little bit and put some of her infrastructure together for her to make sure we insulate her. It doesn't matter where you are, just reach out and let us know. And I'll share one thing with you. We're waiting for the final words, but I just had the honor and the privilege to negotiate the very first contract for the firefighters for the city of South Fulton. And we have to make sure it gets ratified and that the city council approves it. But what a group of dedicated workers. The
Excellent.
firefighters, if you see a firefighter, stop and say hello and greet them and just thank them, because I learned so much about what they do and how they're involved in everything that is emergency related.
Exactly.
So more to come. I'll definitely let you know when everything is done and ready, and when we're ready to announce it officially, even though I'm giving you a sneak peek. But so that's those are my parting words. Sandra L. Jean, Jean.
That's right, the Jean Consulting Group.
Yes.
Yes. Well, Sandra, I would love to just make this an endless interview. Because I know there's so much more that you would like to share, and we can converse over all these experiences. But I thank you so much for joining me this morning. It's always so important for me to sit beside experts, right? Who can help contribute to a healthy conversation that's valuable to entrepreneurs and small business owners out there. Because as we grow and scale businesses, we need expertise. We need individuals who have a knowledge and expertise that we don't have. I'm a business consultant. I write business plans. I operate in the business planning and marketing space, financial analysis. I do business consulting. But yet still, there are consultants I consult with, experts I consult with, because I know if I want to grow my consulting business to meet the expectations I have down the road, I need the expertise working with me, right? So I hope you all understand the importance and the need for reaching out to the experts, and we have one right here in Sandra L. Jean with the Jean Consulting Group. Labor relations, human resources, which is very important, help you with all your human resources and labor needs, contracts, negotiations, NDAs, you name it, all right? Definitely visit her website. Give them that website one more time.
Sandra, Sandra, the letter L, Jean, SandraLJean.com.
That's right. And we thank you so much for joining us on the On Location Spotlight Entrepreneur Series. Please don't forget to share this video, like the video, please leave a comment because we love your comments, all right? And subscribe to our YouTube channel. This is Austin Thompson with Thompson Management Consulting. Make it a great day and let's grow together. Thank you.